I'm going to start to talk about my system of Kabbalah, which is predicated on reverse engineering. I like to start at the top and come backwards to the top. I like to start at the top of the pyramid and then show how all the details at the bottom of the pyramid emanate from one source, from one little square at the top of the pyramid, one essence, one seed. That seed then manifests itself within time and society into the bottom of the pyramid and into multiplicity. Each person is responsible for his own life and the thoughts that go on in his brain, his actions of his body and his emotions. He's also responsible for his spiritual essence and his tie-in to Hashem. For me, everything starts with Adam. Everything starts before Sinai for me. This is very important because the Torah for me starts at Bereshis. If not, the Torah could have started at Leviticus. So the point is that there's a reason that it starts 2 books before. The reason is that's the top of the pyramid. The Haggadah is higher than the Halacha. The customs and the stories are higher than the laws. The true essence of man can be found in the 6 days of creation. One needs to go no further than the word Bereshis. And what predicates Bereshis before the Bet, before the 2 books, is the small Aleph in Vayikra. And so, as we go back, one doesn't need to know much more than the Aleph itself and how the Aleph manifests itself out in multiplicity. If we were to do reverse engineering, we would go back into the Aleph. And the Aleph obviously contains the base, because there are 2 Yuds in an Aleph. And the connection is the great secret of the Vav, the 3rd force. The 3rd force in the 2, again, is the Aleph. It's the Aleph base, or base Aleph, Bo, Parsha Bo. And what does Bo connotate? The great secret is to reverse everything into song. The primal language was song before there were words. How spontaneous song of the birds is how the first speech was song. Please know the customs of your community, or even the customs that you do. That's your Torah. You can learn the customs of the Jewish community as a people, but you will always have your individual peculiarities that are echoed in your family. As we move back in time, the story, the novel, presents the essences, the oral history of your tribe and community, searching out your roots, searching out your family roots, an important thing for an individual. Look at the laws of return in Israel, and now in Portugal, and soon to be in Spain. How it's important for an individual to go back in time. And isn't that part of reverse engineering? To go back to your origin. And what is the origin in the individual? The origin in the individual is the womb. Everything can be shown in the womb. The 39 weeks in the womb are the 39 labors of Shabbos. The archetype of everything is the womb. The 39 plus 1 is the letter Mem. This letter Mem is then echoed in the Parsha Noach. As the 600th year of Noah's life, they went into the ark, another symbol of a womb. This 600th year, the final Mem, parallels the Mem of the 39 plus 1 labors. And so, again, you're in the womb and coming out of the womb. And then laws are formulated, the Priya Varivya coming out of the womb. And how did we go into the womb but 2 plus 2s and 7s plus 7s? These multiplicities is how the womb develops. And outside of the womb, how we split ourselves and cells itself. And isn't this the true essence? And as we go back into the one, the Echad, we see that all multiplicity of even 39 becomes plus 1 Echad. And so if we understand the Echad, we know that how multiplicity is 1. It starts with 1. And what is that 1? That's the seed that comes from the Father. 72 days it starts to be formulated in the brain, in the moachim, in the brain of the Father, and then travels down the spine into the genitals, where it is disseminated into the woman. And this is the holiness. This is the holiness, the progeny of the Father into the womb, into the female. And that starts the female process. And then the ultimate connection, which all these things are part of, the ultimate connection is the Bia. But if one doesn't feel that way, then one can obviously see that the ultimate connection is the umbilicus into the fetus from the mother. So one of the great unconscious symbols on the body is the remnants of your umbilical cord, which is at the will to power in the stomach. In the stomach, we have the will to power, and and as we breathe and create our own spiritual embryo in that fetus, in that area of our own stomachs, we create the spiritual embryo of the knowledge of being. As we become our own mothers, even the masculine creates his own spiritual fetus, and it's connected to his own umbilicus, a umbilicus from the mother. And then these connections, we retreat back into Bereshis, and the first commandment given in Bereshis, Priya Varivya, and the Priya Varivya is the whole secret of multiplicity, and that comes from the Bia itself, and the necessity for not only progeny, but what also progeny is, thought and development, and this will to express itself, the will to power, as it's manifested from its original essence. So as we come back into that, don't the laws, don't the commandments only serve this original essence, the original tantra that occurs on Shabbos, a Jewish tantra of returning to essence before the laws, into the true essence of the individual self that will then later on manifest itself into community. But unless you get the original essence, you will always be in community and never satisfied, because one must return to his original essence, into the womb, into the Bia of the Father, and how that was created in the brain, and the entire process of this. So I return back into the brains of my Father 72 days before I am pushed out. And then my 40 years, symbolizing the 40 years of pregnancy in the womb of my mother, 40 years of wandering in Egypt, after Egypt, wandering in the desert. And that's where I received the laws and the coming out of Egypt. And then the 40 years of development and giving of Torah during that time. And these are the laws of development. But does one really need this as what to do? Didn't the patriarchs already know the entire Torah? For me, I know it. It's sacrilegious, but Abraham, they consider the first Jew, he knew the laws of all the laws of Torah. He kept them, which was obvious. And so, as we see this, as we go back, I'm only interested in the original seed. And that's what Kabbalah really is. Kabbalah, the received, the original seed. And that's where we have to understand that as we go back, we start. Kabbalah is the original essence. And then after that, we learn Torah, Midrash, Mishnah, Talmud. Only after knowing Kabbalah, we have to reverse engineer our studies. We have to know what we are looking for. Kabbalah provides this original answer of the original Tantra, of the original reason. It's the answer. And then we must spend our lives finding out the question. But we don't need to know the question and keep asking questions if we never know the answer. Questions go on forever unless the answer is provided. If you know the answer, if you know what you're looking for, you can find it. But if you don't know what you're looking for, you'll never find it. Because what are you looking for? Are you looking for a process? Or are you looking for a specific thing? If you're looking for a process, then you found the answer in your searching. But I'm not interested in searching. I'm interested in finding. If I know what I'm looking for, I'm looking for the top of the pyramid, the little spot that's landed on by Malachim, and the spot that God, Hashem, comes down on, Mount Sinai, symbolized by the cherubim on top of the Mishkan. Yes, this is what I'm looking for. And once I know what I'm looking for, I can see the details, how beautiful they are in the laws and in the Talmud. I see how beautiful the details are that have been brought down into daily life for the Jewish people. But I see in those mundane details the essence of the Tantra that we're talking about, and the Tantra that is
It could be Randy.
The essence of the Tantra that is the essence of life itself. The essence of life itself. That's what we're looking for. And that's what is easy to find when you know the find itself.